Hey, this is Sasha, and welcome to another episode here on Backstage Income, where I share with you how to build and grow a profitable business. Now, what I want to do today is share with you how you can create email lead magnets that convert like crazy. So if you don't know yet, email is a very powerful marketing medium. It's one of the things that people still check on a day-to-day basis and a regular basis, where as Facebook and those other platforms, people do go on them, but a lot of the content gets filtered. Whereas, hey, take a look at MySpace. Once that was gone, you can't market through that anymore. People move to another form, but they're still using email. So if you don't already understand that, email is one of those things that you really need to start collecting, is collecting email addresses from your prospects to be able to build some leads. When you have those leads, you can then go ahead and build a relationship, nurture that relationship, build that connection, so that way you can go ahead and sell them a product or service later on down the road. Now, the problem with getting an email address is now it's kind of like a currency. You have to exchange something for it. So what you need to do is people do some giveaways, and the higher the giveaway, then the more likely someone will go ahead and give you their email address. So let's say you're giving away $50,000 or $1 million, like some of those sweepstakes do. Of course, people are going to sign up, give their information, and really that's just a lead generating kind of method to go ahead and collect leads for people who are interested in this kind of thing. You fill out a question, a survey, and now they got a whole bunch of leads. Now, yes, they did go ahead and pay for the sweepstakes or the giveaway, but eventually they got a bunch of leads. So how do you do the same kind of concept where you attract a lot of people and get their email address, but you attract the right people, but also without putting too much work? So here's how you kind of do it, and you look at it in terms of a quadrant. So we have basically a form of consumption. So here is consume. And then when we have the consumption, we have it easy, or we have it kind of hard to consume. Okay. And this kind of goes along the lines of a spectrum. Okay. And then you also have another spectrum that goes this way, and this would be the desire spectrum, right? So high desire, and this would be kind of low desire. When you look at it like this, now you start thinking, okay, well, what goes into each quadrant? And obviously you want something in this quadrant. That's kind of the goal. You want high desire, but also easy to consume. And what is that thing? Well, I'll get there in a minute. But let's look at what kind of people are doing nowadays or these days. Well, something that's hard to consume and maybe high desire, well, it could be like a video series, okay? High desire, hard to consume. The other thing, hard to consume, but low desire, what takes a lot of time? This would be things like, hey, come on in, get a free consult, right? So if you're running a business and you want people to come in to get a free consultation or pick up the phone to get a free consultation, well, not everybody's going to want to. It takes a lot of time and, well, it's not that desirable, right? Sometimes webinars fit into this. They have hard to consume, but not always desirable. Some webinars, depending on where you're at, could be up here, okay, where they're high desire because you really want to know about what's going on, but they're still hard to consume. No matter what, the webinars are in the hard to consume space, okay? Now, over here, you have an easy consumption, so easy to consume, but low desire. This could be maybe something like an ebook, okay? Ebook's a little more difficult to consume than maybe a video series, so it's a little bit easier. So again, if you're looking to really put these things on the map, it just there's a relativity concept here, right? So one could be up here, one other one could be up here. It depends on these different things that you're creating. So an ebook, it's easier to consume, okay, than a webinar, but it's not always desirable. It takes a bit of time still to go through and read an ebook. So what is kind of high desire, but also easy to consume and quick for you to make? Well, this would be something like a cheat sheet. Okay, so anything with a cheat sheet, resources, guide, or page, something like that, where it's kind of a quick, tool kit anything in that form where you're giving 2 to 3 kind of page PDFs, a cheat sheet, a worksheet. It could be a worksheet. It could be a daily kind of planner where it's like, hey, this is a 1-page daily planner to be successful. These are the things that are, hey, people want it and they're easy to consume. They open it up, oh, wow, wonderful. Okay, I love it. It's great. Whereas if you go along the lines of anything else, hey, okay, I got something that's high desirable, but it's difficult to consume. Let's say, hey, a 45-hour webinar, where you're basically doing a seminar online. Some people may be interested in that, of course, but it's not an email grabbing thing. It's not something that you're giving away to get the email address, even though it may be really insightful. It may be very helpful. But people who are just at the starting point, remember, these people that are giving you their email address, they're at the start, right? They're at the starting point. And if you're just starting out, you don't want a 45-hour webinar, okay? You might want a 45-second item. Okay, later on, as they go through multiple stages, then they may want something that's 45 hours long. And I have courses, in fact, in my investment education series there, where courses are 20 plus hours long. And, people are interested in that because they've put the time and energy to building that relationship with me to know, hey, this is what I want, and I want a deeper learning. But to give an email address for something that's video series, webinar, it's a little more difficult. So if you're just trying to get an email address, if you're trying to just start a relationship, right, to get the email address or your lead magnet to convert, start with something like a toolkit, a resources page, cheat sheet, worksheet, or kind of a daily planner. That's what I would recommend. And if you don't have a newsletter company yet, then take a look at my resources page where I talk about Aweber, ConvertKit, Mailer, Lite, MailChimp, and many other email marketing companies and which one you should use, because they're all a little different and they all have some advantages and disadvantages. So be sure to take a look at that on BackstageIncome.com, along with some of the other videos that I have available on this channel. All right, so thank you so much for joining me in this week's episode. Be sure to get on my cool business club list by going to this link right over here, entering your name and email address when you get there, and that way you get notified as I release new trainings, books, promotions, any kind of video course series. It's all there. So get on the list, and that way you know what's happening here on our channel and the educational network that we have. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time.